Hi friends, Namaste. Welcome to our Marnata Teacher channel. Before going to the video, I request you to please subscribe my channel. Today, let us learn about the biography of the famous artist Rekha. For the South Indian actress Bhanu Rekha Ganeshan, better known by her mononymous stage name Rekha, is an Indian actress who appears predominantly in Hindi films. Acknowledged as one of the finest actresses in Indian cinema, she has starred in more than 180 films and is the recipient of several accolades, including one National Film Award and three Filmfare Awards. She has often played strong and complicated female characters, from fictional to literacy, in both mainstream and independent films. Though her career has gone through certain periods of decline, Rekha has gained a reputation for reinventing herself numerous times and has been credited for her ability to sustain her status. In 2010, the Government of India honored her with Padma Shri, India's fourth highest civilian honor. Rekha's biography. Born 10th October 1954, her age 70 years. Full name Bhanu Rekha Ganeshan. Born place Madras, Madras State, India. Other names Rekha Agarwal. Occupation actress. Years active 1958 to present. Works full list. Spouse Mukesh Agarwal, died in 1990. Parents Gemini Ganeshan, father; Pushpavalli, mother. Relatives Savitri, stepmother; Kamala Selvaraj, half sister; Tej Sapru, brother-in-law; Shubha, cousin; Vedantam Raghavaya, uncle. Family Ganeshan family. Awards full list. Honors Padma Shri. Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, in office 27th of April 2012 to 26th April 2018. Constituency nominated. The daughter of actors Pushpavalli and Gemini Ganeshan, Rekha started her career as a child actress in Telugu films Inti Guttu 1958 and Rangula Ratnam 1966. Her first film as a lead happened with the Kannada movie Operation Jackpot Nalli CID 999 1969. Her Hindi debut with Savan Bhadan 1970 established her as a rising star, but despite the success of several of her early films, she was often panned in the press for her looks and weight. Motivated by criticism, she started working on her appearance and put effort into improving her acting technique and command of the Hindi language, resulting in a well publicized transformation. A well publicized transformation. early recognition in 1978 for her performances in Ghar and Mukhaddar Ka Sikandar marked the beginning of the most successful period of her career, and she was one of Hindi cinema's leading stars through most of the 1980s and early 1990s. For her performance in the comedy Khub Sorat 1980, Rekha received her first Filmfare Award for Best Actress. She followed it with roles in Basera 1981, Ek Hai Bhool 1981, Jeevan Dhara 1982, and Agar Tum Na Hote 1983. While mostly prolific and in popular Hindi cinema, during this time she ventured into parallel cinema, a movement of neo-realist art house films. These films included dramas such as Kaliyug 1981, Vijata 1982, and Utsav 1984, and her portrayal of a classical courtesan in Umrao Jan 1981 won her the National Film Award for Best Actress. After a short setback in the mid 1980s, she was among the actresses who led a new trend of women centered revenge films, starting with Khoon Bhari Mang 1988, for which she won a second Best Actress award at Filmfare. Rekha's work was much less prolific in subsequent decades. Her roles in early 1990s mostly met with lukewarm reviews. In 1996, she played against type in the role of an underworld don in the action thriller Khiladiyon Ka Khiladi 1996, for which she won a third Filmfare Award in the Best Supporting Actress category, and further appeared in Kama Sutra, A Tale of Love 1996, and Asta in the Prison of Spring 1997 to critical acclaim but some public scrutiny. During the 2000s, she was praised for her supporting roles in the 2001 dramas Zubeda and Lajja, and started playing mother roles, among which was her role in the science fiction Koi Mil Gaya 2003 and its superhero sequel Krish 2006, both commercial successes. The lattermost emerged as her highest grossing release. Apart from acting, Rekha served as a member of parliament for the Rajya Sabha from 2012 to 2018. Her private life and public been the image have been the subject of frequent media interest and discussion. Starting in the 1970s, her pairing opposite Amitabh Bachchan in a number of successful films was accompanied by enduring speculation about a love affair between the two, culminating in their starring film Silsila 1981, which was reflective of media projections. Her only marriage to the Delhi based industrialist and television manufacturer Mukesh Agarwal in March 1990 ended 7 months later when he died by suicide. Rekha's public image has often been tied to her perceived sex appeal. She has reluctant to give interviews or discuss her life, which resulted in her being labeled a reckless early life and work. Rekha was born Bhanu Rekha Ganeshan in Madras, present day Chennai, on 10th October 1954 to South Indian actors Gemini Ganeshan and Pushpavalli when the couple were unmarried. Ganeshan was previously married to T.R. Babjima Alamelu and had four children. The Illinois based radiation oncologist Ravati Swaminathan, the gynecologist Kamala Selvaraj, the Times of India's journalist Narayani Ganeshan, and the medical doctor Jaya Sridhar. He had two more children with actress Savitri, Vijaya Chamundeswari, a fitness expert, and Satish Kumar. Meanwhile, Pushpavalli had two children, Babuji and Rama, from her earlier marriage to the lawyer I.V. Rangachari. Ganeshan and Pushpavalli had another daughter, Radha, born 1955. Nagaprasad and the actress Shubha are her cousins, while Vedantam Raghavaya and his wife Surya Prabha are her uncle and aunt, respectively. Born to a Tamil father and a Telugu mother, Rekha's mother tongue is Telugu and is a fluent speaker of Telugu, but she has mentioned that at home we used to talk in English. Bareilly spoke in Telugu and that she thinks in English. She is also fluent in Tamil and Hindi. Rekha did not reveal her family background until mid 1970s. During her unstable childhood, her relationship with her father Ganeshan was poor. Ganeshan did not want to recognize her as his daughter and give her a living. He rarely met both of his children with Pushpavalli, who subsequently married K. Prakash, a cinematographer from Madras, and she legally changed her name to K. Pushpavalli. She gave birth to two more children, Dhanalakshmi, who later married to the actor Tej Sapru, and the dancer Seshu died 21st May 1991. Due to her mother's hectic acting schedule at the time, Rekha would, of, Rekha would often stay with her grandmother. Asked in an interview by Simi Garewal about her father, Rekha believed he was never even aware of her existence. She recalled that her mother often spoke about him and added that despite never having lived with him, she felt his presence all through. Even so, the relationship started to improve 5 years after Pushpavalli died in 1991. He told a Cine Blitz interviewer of his happiness about this and stated, Rekha and I have such a good rapport. We are really close. He died in 2005. Rekha was 1 year old when she played a small role in the Telugu language drama Inti Guttu, directed by Vedantam Raghavaya. The film was released in late 1958 and became a commercial success. She was enrolled at a kindergarten when she was at the age of 3 and next joined the Presentation Convent School in Madras during her adolescence. She also met Narayani, Ganeshan, and Armelu's second daughter at the school when the latter was around 9 or 10 years old. Always an awkward and lonely girl, she admitted that she experienced childhood obesity. In a 1990 interview to the Illustrated Weekly of India, she called herself as the fattest girl in the school. In this period, she developed a love for dance and sports, although never participated in them due to her weight. Because of this, she was bullied by many of her schoolmates who called her Lotta, Tamil for bastard. Rekha, describing herself as a firm believer in God and destiny, used to spend her time at the school's chapel. Another brief screen role came with the release of Rangula Ratnam 1966, a political satire which was popular among the audience, co-starring Pushpavalli and sister Radha. According to her biographer Yasser Usman, Rekha was asked by Pushpavalli to start an acting career when their family faced financial troubles in 1968, as the latter was sure that it would help them. Although never had interest for acting, Rekha, who was initially aspired to be a flight attendant, obeyed her desire and at the age of 13 to 14, while she was in ninth grade, she dropped out from school to start a full time career in acting. She later regretted not having completed her education. A protective sister, she did not allow her younger sister Radha to join her because she wanted Radha to finish her film career. Early roles 1968 to 1970. Bombay was like a jungle and I had walked in unarmed. It was one of the most frightening phases of my life. I was totally ignorant of the ways of this new world. Guys did try and take advantage of my vulnerability. Every single day I cried because I had to eat what I didn't like, wear crazy clothes with sequins and stuff poking into my body. Costume jewelry would give me an absolute terrible allergy. Hair spray wouldn't go off for days, even despite all my washing. I was pushed, literally dragged from one studio to another. A terrible thing to do to a 13-year-old child. Raka on her first visit to Bombay, 1990. In late 1968, the Nairobi based businessman Kuljit Paul visited Gemini Studios to search a newcomer for his new project, Anjana Safar, an adaptation of H. Rider Haggard's 1885 novel King Solomon's Mines. He spotted Rekha at the studio and cast her as the film's second female lead after Vanisri. Paul went to Pushpavalli's house to give Rekha a screen test, dictating a number of sentences in Hindi, which were rewrote by Rekha in Latin script and then told her to memorize it. A few moments later, Rekha said the sentences completely, and Paul was impressed of her native Hindi speaker like voice. He gave her a 5-year contract to star in 4 films from him and his brother Shatrujit Paul each. Shatrujit Paul each. Rekha moved to Bombay, present day Mumbai, in 1969 and rented a room at the Hotel Ajanta in the city's neighborhood, Juhu, with Paul playing of the fee. Also that year, she announced her debut to public and the media and the successful Kannada film Operation Jackpot Nalli ID 999 with Dr. Rajkumar, where she features as a lead for the first time, was released. In Anjana Safar, directed by Raja Navathi, she played Sunita, a woman forced by her father to travel to Africa in search of a hidden treasure. She was paid 25,000 for her work. Since her mother fell ill at the time, Rekha was accompanied by her aunt to the shooting, which started in August that year at Mehboob Studio. A controversy arose around a kissing scene featuring Rekha and male lead Biswajit Chatterjee, of which she was not notified as Navadhi wanted to maintain her natural reaction. In later years, Rekha complained at having been tricked into the scene. The film ran into censorship problems and would not be released until 1979 when it was retitled Do Shikhari. The kissing scene made it to the cover of the Asian edition of Life magazine in April 1970. This prompted the American journalist James Shepherd to travel to India to interview Rekha, which she saw as an opportunity to boost her career and express her complaint. Do Shekharji Do Shikhari underperformed at the box office. Soon after her move to Bombay in 1969, Rekha was signed by the producer and director Mohan Sehgal for his film Savan Bhadan, and the filming started on 11 October. He cast her as Chanda, a village girl who does not receive approval from her parents to marry her lover Naveen Nishchal. Although her hair was already long and thick, Shahgal forced her to wear a wig. Hence, it did not fit on her hair, and her hairdressers had to shave her hair to almost bald. She was not fluent in Hindi at the time, and most of the film's crew mocked her for having South Indian background. Marking her Hindi debut, Savan Bhadan was released in September 1970 and became a commercial success. Film reviewers scorned her looks but complimented her confidence and comic timing in the film. Manoj Das believed that embarrassment was shown on Nischol's face in every scene with Rekha, and Film World magazine noted the film's success was a breakthrough for her career. అమ్మ కోసం ఏ తెలుగు డ్రామా ఫ్రమ్ ద డైరెక్టర్ కొల్లి ప్రత్యాగాత్మ was released in the end of the year and she dedicated it to her mother. Career fluctuations in the 1970s. 1971 to 1977. Rekha subsequently got several offers but nothing of substance, as her roles were mostly just of a glamour girl. She was highly prolific during the decade, working on average in 10 films a year, most of which were deemed pot boilers and failed to propel her career forward in terms of roles and appreciation. She appeared in several commercially successful films at the time, including Rampur Ka Lakshman 1972, Kahani Kismat 1973, and Pran Jaye Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye 1974. Yet she was not regarded for her acting abilities, and according to the author Tejaswini Ganti, the industry was surprised by her success as her dark complexion, plump figure, and garish clothing contradicted the norms of beauty prevalent in the film industry and in society. In 1975, she appeared in the war film Akraman as Rakesh Roshan's wife Shetal, a role Quaratiline Haider thought was glitch and labeled a clothes horse. Ranadhir Kapoor's Dharam Karam is a drama about a hoodlum, and Link magazine noted that Rekha's part in it is the most pathetic of the entire cast. The mafia film Dharmatma was her only financial success of the year. Directed by and starring Firoz Khan, the film saw her in the part of Anu, Khan's childhood sweetheart. Additional films include Kabila, about her appearance in which critic Gautam Kundu wrote that she manages to be as undistinguished as the script will allow, which is plenty. Rekha recalls that the way she was perceived at that time motivated her to change her appearance and improve her choice of roles. I was called the ugly duckling of Hindi films because of my dark complexion and South Indian features. I used to feel deeply hurt when people compared me with the leading heroines of the time and said I was no match for them. I was determined to make it big on sheer merit. The mid 1970s marked the beginning of her physical transformation. She started paying attention to her makeup, dress sense, and worked to improve her acting technique and perfect her Hindi language skills for 3 months. To lose weight, she followed a nutritious diet, led a regular, disciplined life, and practiced yoga, later recording albums to promote physical fitness. According to Khalid Muhammad, the audience was floored when there was a swift change in her screen personality as well as her style of acting. Rekha began choosing her film roles with more care. Rekha's first performance oriented role came in 1976 when she played Amitabh Bachchan's ambitious and greedy wife in Do Anjane. Do Anjane. It would be her. It would be her first of many appearances with the actor. Do Anjane. They appeared together in Namak Haram 1973, but Rekha was paired opposite Rajesh Khanna. Her role is Rekha Roy, the wife of Bachchan's character, who becomes an established actress. Shooting took place in Calcutta, present day Kolkata, and was finished within a month. Rekha and the other cast and crew would stay at the Grand Hotel, an adaptation of Nehar Ranjan Gupta's novel Ratrir Yatri. The film, directed by Dulal Guha and scripted by Nabendu Ghosh, was popular among the audience and critics. Film World wrote that she has proved herself as a leading actress in Hindi cinema as and filmmakers had started taking more notice of her and become more keen to cast her in their films. She remarked that it was difficult to stand in front of Bachchan, speaking of how she felt paranoid after she knew that he would star opposite her in the film. She stated that he contributed to dramatic changes in her life and was a big influence in her adulthood, and described him someone I would never seen before. 1977 was the third year when Rekha was consecutively gained one commercial success. The action crime Khoon Pasina emerged as the sixth highest grossing Indian film of the year. In the same year, she starred in the comedy drama Aapke Khatir opposite Vinod Khanna and Nadira. Her role as the poor girl won her awards from a number of film journalists associations. In a retrospective review for The Hindu, the sport journalist and film critic Vijay Lokapalli presumed that Rekha's role was challenging for her and appreciated her chemistry with Khanna. A Link reviewer praised its social themes. Film World awarded her with the Best Actress trophy for her work in Dharam, Iman Dharam, an action film that received mixed critical reviews. It features her as Durga, a Tamilian laborer who falls for the thief Mohan Kumar Saxena. Shashi Kapoor, Cine Blitz praised Rekha for proving her talent in acting. Turning Point, Stardom and Parallel Cinema, 1978 to 1984. Rekha's turning point came in 1978 with her portrayal of a rape victim in the social drama Ghar. She plays Aarti, a newly married woman who gets gravely traumatized after being gang raped. The film follows her character's struggle and traumatized with the help of her husband Vinod Mehra. The film was considered her first notable milestone, and her performance was acclaimed by both critics and audiences. Dinesh Rahaja elaborated, Ghar heralded the arrival of a mature Rekha. Her archetypal jubilance was replaced by her very realistic portrayal. She received her first nomination for Best Actress at the Filmfare Awards. In that same year, her another release, Mukaddar Ka Sikandar, emerged as the biggest hit of that year, as well as one of the biggest hit of the decade, and Rekha was set as one of the most successful actresses of these times. The film opened to a positive critical reception and Rekha's brief role as a wife named Zohrabai earned her a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Filmfare. M.L. Dhawan of the Tribune noted her smoldering intensity. Rekha recalled this phase as a period of self discovery. Other films that year include Karmayogi. Following though Anjane, speculation about a love affair with her co star Amitabh Bachchan generated. Filmmakers at the time saw this as an opportunity to publicize their films by exploiting their alleged affair on screen, as done in Mr. Natwarlal and Sohag, both 1979 releases and highly popular with audiences. In Mr. Natwarlal, in an action romance set in Calcutta, Rekha portrays the simple village woman Shanu to good reviews. Sohag, like Mukaddar Ka Sikandar, featured her as a courtesan and became the year's highest grossing picture. The next 2 years were even more successful. In 1980, Rekha starred in the comedy Khoob Sorat by Hrithikesh Mukherjee in a role written specially for her. She played Manju Dayal, a young, vivacious woman who visits her recently married sister and tries to bring joy to the wide family, much to the dissatisfaction of the matriarch of the household. Rekha said she easily identified with the bubbly nature of her character, calling it quite a bit me. Khoob Surat and Rekha's performance in it were well, were well received by reviewers, and the film was a financial success. At the Filmfare Awards, the film was named Best Film and Rekha won her first Best Actress award. The Tribune lauded Rekha's spunky performance for giving the film its natural jing. Mang Bharo Sajana and Judai, both directed by T. Ramarao and Savan Kumar Taks, Sajan K. Saheli, brought her further critical attention that year. Rekha's alleged, Rekha's alleged love affair speculation with Amitabh Bachchan culminated when they starred together in Yash Chopra's romantic drama Silsila. It was the most scandalous of their films together as it reflected the rumors by the press. Rekha played Bachchan's lover, while Bachchan's real life wife Jaya Bachchan played his wife. The film was filmed secretly during 1980 to 1981, with Chopra not allowing the media to visit the shooting. Silsila was regarded by many journalists as a casting coup, and this was the last collaboration between Rekha and Bachchan. The film premiered in July 1981 to critical and commercial failure, and Chopra attributed this to the casting, feeling the audience's attention was strictly focused on the speculation rather than the plot. India Today's Sunil Sethi saw that Rekha was as synthetic as Amitabh Bachchan's tiresome chauvinism. Other films starring her that year include Ramesh Talwar's Basara and T. Ramarao's Ek Hai Bhool, a remake of the 1981 Tamil film Mauna Geetangal, both box office successes. She received another Filmfare Best Actress nomination for Jeevan Dhara 1982, in which she played a young unmarried woman who is the sole breadwinner of her extended family. During this period, Rekha was willing to expand her range beyond what she was given in mainstream films and started working in parallel cinema, a movement of Indian neo realist at art films. These films include Kaliyug 1981, Umrao Jan 1981, Vijata 1982, Utsav 1984, and Lezat 1987, Umrao Jan, a film adaptation of Mirza Hadi Raswa's Urdu novel Umrao Jan Ada 1905, saw Rekha in the title role of the poet and courtesan with a heart of gold from Lucknow in the 1840s. Made on a lavish production cost, the film follows Umrao's life story from her childhood as a girl named Amiran, who is kidnapped and sold in a brothel to her position years later as a popular courtesan who seeks happiness amid love, affairs, and other tribulations. In preparation for the part, Rekha, who at the beginning of her career did not speak Hindi, took the task of learning the finer nonsense nuances of the Urdu language. Rekha was widely applauded for her performance, which was since been cited as one of her best work. Balu Bharatan of the Illustrated Weekly of India wrote of her unexplored reserves of histrionic strength. She was awarded the National Film Award for Best Actress and earned another Filmfare Award nomination with Filmfare, later considering this one of the most iconic performances of Bollywood history. She later claimed that the film was a turning point. Among her work in art films, Shyam Benegal's Kaliyug is a modern day adaptation of the Indian mythological epic Mahabharata, depicted as an archetypal conflict between rival business houses. Rekha's role Supriya is based on Draupadi. Benegal cast her in the role after seeing her work in Khubsurat and took further note of her being very keen, very serious about her profession. Critic and author Vijay Nair described her performances as a masterful interpretation of the modern Draupadi. Madhu Trehan complimented her for playing flawlessly the part of a woman of intelligence, strength, and barely suppressed yearning for her young brother-in-law. The brother-in-law, the 1982 coming of age film, Vijata saw her as Nilima, who struggles through her marital problems and tries to support her adolescent son who undecided about his future plans eventually decides to join the Indian Air Force. She has since described the role as one of her favorite. in Girish Karnad's erotic drama Utsav, based on Sudraka's Sanskrit play Mrucha Katika from the 4th century. She portrays the courtesan Vasanta Sena and for her performance was acknowledged as the best actress Hindi by the Bengal Film Journalists Association. The film attracted wide coverage for its sensuality and Rekha's intimate scenes. She took she took this as a way to compete with female newcomers at the time. Utsav polarized both the audience and film reviewers with its script and direction. Her work and costumes, however, were well received. A review in Asia Week noted Rekha dressed in little more than glittering jewelry. In 2003, Maithili Rao wrote Rekha, forever the first choice for the courtesan's role, be it ancient Hindu India or Hindu India or 19th century Muslim Lucknow, is all static sensuality. In Guljar's drama Lajjat, Rekha and Nasiruddin Shah star as a divorced couple who met unexpectedly for the first time after years of separation at a railway station and recall together their life as a married couple and the conflicts which brought about their eventual split. Setback and resurgence 1985 to 1989. Apart from parallel cinema, Rekha took on other increasingly adventurous roles. She was among the early actresses to play lead roles in heroine oriented revenge films, the first of which was Khoon Bhari Mang in 1988, made by Rakesh Roshan specifically with Rekha in mind. The film featured her in the role Aarti Saxena, a wealthy, unassuming widow who narrowly survives an attempted murder by her scheming second husband and presumed to be dead, returns to seek revenge under a concealed identity. She won her second Filmfare Award for her performance in the film. Rekha went on to describe Khoon Bhari Mang as the first and only film I concentrated and understood all throughout. M.L. Dhawan from the Tribune, while documenting the famous Hindi films of 1988, remarked that Khoon Bhari Mang was a crowning glory for Rekha, who, who rose like a phoenix and bedazzled the audience with her dared delivery, daredevilry. Encyclopedia Britannica's Encyclopedia of Hindi Cinemas listed her role in the film as one of the Hindi cinema's memorable female characters, noting it for changing the perceptions of the ever forgiving wife, turning her into an avenging angel. In a similar list by Screen magazine, the role was included as one of the 10 memorable roles that made the Hindi film heroine proud. In later interviews, Rekha has mentioned that receiving the Filmfare Award for this role was a surprise and a turning point that gave her reassurance and validation after taking a small break and getting eclipsed by younger stars. All that applause from the film fraternity inspired me and made me to realize that I am still wanted. I felt even more charged to give my best and know right then that this was my calling, what I was born to do, to make a difference in people's lives through my performances. Career fluctuations and short revival 1990 to 1999. The 1990s saw a drop in Rekha's success. Few of her films were successful and many of her roles were condemned by reviewers. Critics still noted, however, that unlike most of the actresses of her generation, like Hema Malini and Rakhi, who succumbed to playing character parts typically of mothers and aunts, Rekha was still playing leading roles at a time when when younger female stars rose to fame. The first year of the decade saw four releases featuring Rekha, including Mera Pati, Sirf Mera Hai, and Amiri Garibi, all of which went unnoticed. Still recovering from the recent suicide of her husband and struggling with the ensuing press antagonism towards her, Rekha retained considerable success with her starring role as Namrata Singh, a young woman who joins the police force to avenge her husband's death in K.C. Wakadia's Phool Bane Angare 1991. The film was a box office hit and Rekha received a Best Actress nomination at Filmfare for her work, in reference to which Subhash K. Jha remarked, "Khaki never seemed sexier." The Indian Express wrote that she rides horses, wields swords, and does justice to the title in being Phool, a flower, and becoming Angari, burning coal. She was referred to as the reigning queen of Indian cinema at the 2012 IFA Awards held in Singapore, where she was given the Outstanding Contribution to Indian Cinema Female Award, also referred to as the Lifetime Achievement Award. In 1999, the columnist turned author Mohandeep published the first biography about her titled Eureka, the intimate life story of Rekha. Another biography was released by the journalist Yasser Osman in 2016 under the title of Rekha, the Untold Story. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.